Good evening. Welcome to Shavings and Cravings, more specifically Cravings, as this is the first video of the craving side of my channel. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, do whatever the hell you want. Tonight we're making bacon. We're going to start by curing it and then we'll smoke it later. But first of all, let's get into what ingredients you need. So to make bacon, first of all, you need pork belly. So we've got about 10 pounds, 9.5 pounds of pork belly over here. You can get it from your local butcher, which is this one came from. I like to get mine from Costco. They've got nice full slabs of pork belly with the skin off. But if you can get the pork belly from wherever you can get it, if you get the skin off, that's fine, that's ideal, you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, you can make crackling with the skin if you want to. You also need kosher salt, pepper, brown sugar, and pink salt, or curing salt number 1, also known as prog powder, sodium nitrate, and a little honey. The goal of the curing is to kind of replace the moisture in the meat with the salt and to prevent it from rotting, basically, and it cures the meat with the curing salt. And then we'll smoke it to give it a nice flavor, and it should last a long time, and it tastes delicious like the bacon you like. Right now it's just pork belly, so if you were to just salt that and fry it up, all it would be is just like a pork chop that's fried up with salt. Not very great. So we're going to do some magic with it. Alright, so what you need on my coffee stained recipe book here. You need a half cup of salt, half cup of brown sugar, tablespoon of black pepper, teaspoon of the pink salt, and honey. That's for a 5-pound section of pork belly. So assuming we've got about 10 pounds, I've doubled that. Mix it all into a bowl. Make sure it's nice and mixed evenly. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to take the honey. What I've got here is some Browning's honey from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And we'll just brush that on there really nice and thin. You don't need a lot. You don't want to overdo it. You could also use maple syrup if you'd like to give that nice maple flavor. In my previous goes, I found it a bit strong if you use too much, but it's up to your individual preference. But we're going to brush each piece of pork belly with a little bit of honey. Cuckoo clock. Awesome. And flip each piece over. Coat each side. Alright, once that's evenly coated, it's time for the next ingredient, which I did not introduce yet, which is obviously your cooking beer. Tonight we got Cosmic Turtle from Naked River Brewing Company in Chattanooga, Tennessee, just down the road. It's a hazy IPA with a little bit of blood orange. Very tasty. Once you take a sip of that, what you're going to do is, we've got double the amount of cure here that we've mixed up nice and smooth. So, like I said, half cup of each, the brown sugar and the kosher salt, doubled because it's 10 pounds as opposed to 5 pounds, and the same amount of or double amount of the curing salt and pepper. What we're going to do is we're going to take half of this and apply it to the back of this pork belly. We're going to flip it over and apply the rest of the half, and then we're going to vacuum pack this. And it's not really imperative that you get it super even at this point. You do want the ratios pretty even for your pieces of meat, but basically we're just trying to get them covered with the cure. Press that nice and in there. flip them over. You're going to repeat the process. Alright, once you got your cure on the portions of meat, you're basically just going to take it, and you can use a Ziploc bag if you'd like. I happen to have a vacuum saver, so it's super handy. Just place your sections of meat in a vacuum saver. Any of the cure that was supposed to be on that section of meat, just toss in the bag with it. Repeat for each section of meat you might have. And once you do that, vacuum seal these suckers up. Alright, once they're vacuum sealed or placed in a Ziploc, all you need to do, put them on a cookie sheet or in a baking dish or something. And then stick them in the fridge for a week or so. Flipping daily. So we're going to stick them in there like this for one day. We're going to let them sit for a whole day. Flip them over, let it rest a day, flip it over, rest a day, flip it over, rest a day, until about 6 days, 7 days pass, and then we'll pull them out and we'll be ready for smoke. Catch you then. Every day you just pull them out of the fridge and you'll flip them over so that it gets more evenly distributed. You'll see, ooh, that one's leaking a little bit. You'll see that the meat is getting a lot firmer as the juices are getting pulled out and the meat is starting to cure. This is a few days in, so you'll see the amount of juice, but this is why I put them in a trays, because this one actually didn't seal all the way. If you use a Ziploc, you'll probably be more likely for you to happen as well. Alright, about a week has passed, and as you can see, a lot of liquid has come out of each belly, and it feels a lot firmer to the touch. So the curing process is done, basically. So what we're going to do now is slice each one of these open, pour it out, rinse them off, and we'll go from there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little tiny slice off of one of these and fry it up just to see how salty it is. If it's too salty, you can soak it in water for a couple hours, let it dry off, try it again, and see how it tastes. You're just trying to get the salt level to an acceptable thing. I've never had to soak mine after how much I've done, but it's come out a little salty, so let's go with that. Alright, saltiness is acceptable. So what I'm going to do now is pat each one dry and stick them on a cooling rack or a rack in the fridge for a little while to allow it to dry thoroughly, so it gives the smoke a better chance to stick. So we're just going to pat each one of these dry and stick it on a cooling rack. Good morning. Today we're going to start the smoke on the bacon, and to start that we're going to turn our smoker on. So I'm using a pellet grill by Camp Chef, and so what I'm going to use today is the low smoke setting, which should keep it at a fairly low temperature. Turn that off for a second. Fairly low temperature to give us a nice amount of smoke though. And to supplement the smoke that's coming from the grill, I'm going to use one of these smoke tubes. And what you do is you just fill it with the pellets. You stick it on its side. You might lose a few. You take a torch, and you start it on fire. Until they start, and then you let them burn out, and then they'll start smoking. We've got applewood in there, we've got hickory in the pellets, so we'll give a nice little mix of your classic bacon flavors. Alright, got a good amount of smoke going. We're going to put the pork belly or the bacon on the smoker, fat up. We're going to smoke this for 4 hours at a temperature hopefully less than 165 until the internal temperature goes no higher than 150. If it goes up above 150, we'll pull it off even if the 4 hours hasn't passed yet. Well, it's been 4 hours. We've stayed under 150 degrees, which is what we were trying to go for. Let's see what we got going on in here. Yep, that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down, or turn it off. We'll pull these off. Put them on the cooling rack. I'm going to go throw them in the fridge for a little while. Alright, the bacon's all smoked and chilled. Now we're ready to cut it. You could use a knife, which would work just fine. It's just a little tedious. Or use your Hobart slicer. You mean you don't have one? You should. Gives you nice, even slices. Look at that. And the last step is to portion out your bacon into a pound or pound and a half, whatever you want to use, and vacuum pack it, or you can use some Ziplocs, whatever you want to do, and freeze it up. Not that it really lasts that long once you have it out, because you want to eat it so much, but that's how that goes. Really easy. Of course, had to fry up a couple pieces to see how it was. Fantastic. Alright, hope you enjoyed learning how to make some homemade bacon. We'll catch you in the next Shavings and Cravings episode. See ya.